Hello, 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 hello. How is everybody? What's going on? How are you? I hope you're fine. Shooby-dooby-doo. Hello, everybody. Hello, Sofa Squad. I hope y'all are well. If you could, pretty please drop a number one in the comment section. That way I know I'm not talking just to myself. Although I do promote talking to yourself, I also promote answering yourself as well. Indie Girl, thank you so much. I do appreciate you being here to hold the sofa down and keep the cushions fluffed. I hope you have been doing well. Y'all, Emily is singing her heart out right now at her service. So send her good vibes. And Tori is doing her thing too. So send her good vibes too. Everyone is celebrating. And I'm glad that y'all could be here to celebrate with me too. Merry Christmas Eve. Happy one day before Hanukkah and Kwanzaa. Happy day before Wednesday if you don't celebrate any of that stuff. Okay. There's so much going on tomorrow, right? So I hope everybody's doing wonderful. I hope everybody is doing whatever you want to do that makes you happy on these holidays. And if not, I hope that you're getting through and doing the best you can. So, hey Jenny, how's it going? So what I wanted to do was just this. Now, first of all, y'all can probably already hear it in my tone. I'm at family's house, so I kind of have that tone of like talking like somebody else is in the house, even though they can't hear me. Probably, I would imagine, but I just have that going on or whatever. So I'm kind of taking a little break or whatever. And I was like, I want to come on here, say hey to everybody, see if anybody's around, and just kind of hang out with the Sofa Squad over here and go do something kind of funny and lighthearted going into the holidays. But also, y'all, I just realized this. Y'all are going to die. Hold on. At the end of the Sarah Boone comment thing, guess what we're going to read? Oh, can you see it? I can't see it. 'Twas the night before Christmas. Golden Girls. God. Does it get any better? I mean, come on. Okay. So shout out to Shayna. She turned me on to that. She's like, you should read this to us. And literally, I forgot that I ordered it. And when I say moments ago, I was going through stuff and I was like, I forgot that I got this and packed it and did all the things. Plays. It's very short, okay? But it's cute nonetheless. So we'll do a dramatic reading of that at the end, okay? So, okay, now hold on real quick while I'm thinking of this. Up above, and I think it was your screen name was With Respect Mostly. Okay, if you're still in the room, I have a question for you. And if anybody knows what I am talking about, please let me know. And then we'll get started on the comment thing. Okay. I don't know which Alien or Aliens movie this was. Like, I'm talking about with Sigourney Weaver, like the Alien, the franchise. There was a line in it, and I want to say it was maybe part 2. And it had the little girl in it. And this to me is forever like the cringiest line from cinema. And so when I saw your screen name, and I'm not saying your screen name is cringy, but I was like, I wonder if you got this from that, because people who get this, I'm always like, I absolutely love this. Okay. It's South Park. If I'm correct, did an entire episode based around this line where the little girl goes, they come out at night, mostly. It's like the way she says it is so like just so like not right, you know what I'm saying? And like it always stuck out to me, and I'm just like, what's this thing with the mostly thing? And so whenever I see, I don't know, again, mostly, I don't know if that's they mostly come out at night, mostly, yeah. And like literally, did South Park not do a whole episode based on that? So when I was talking about, I was like, please tell me that you did that based on that. I absolutely love it when people like really niche stuff like that people get, you know what I'm saying? If you can probably Google it and it'll come up as like a thing or whatever. It's so funny though, but I absolutely love stuff like that. But if not, you have a story now to go along with the thing or whatever. So there's that. The aliens mostly thing. Thanks, Ohio Palm Mom. I do appreciate you becoming a member. I hope all is going well. I know I love the Aliens franchise. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna start with, we'll just kind of see where it goes, right? We're gonna read comments from the latest dramatic reading of the letter. Tomorrow morning at the normal time, 8:00, the second part of the letter thing will go up. So, oh wait, there's respect. No, I chose it as a tongue in cheek. I show 100 respect until I don't need it to anymore. Okay, we love that too, with respect mostly. Know also that there's a whole niche, like not franchise, but like industry of content around the term mostly. Just go look it up. Okay, so you can now say like you have a double thing going there. What do you call it when like a word can mean two things, whatever? So if you ever run into like this is so niche, like not many people will ever get it or whatever, like that one line. It's such like a niche content thing. But you know, okay. So there you go. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna read the things from the the latest thing. The what do you call it? The dramatic reading of the letter. Yes, thank you. Good Lord. Double entendre, thank you. I know it is so hard to be good sometimes, right? Let me tell y'all. Flying to Texas, plays holidays. I have some stories, okay? We'll get into that in a second. Let's do what the thumbnail said, then we'll talk about it. Okay, here we go. I don't want to get anybody upset, okay? Talking about why is he talking about airplanes and Golden Girls and mostly this and mostly that. Okay. Anyways. Okay. So this is the letter that we did or whatever, her final letter or whatever. So okay, so this one says, and this is from OO Mace. Mace is your, I'm not sure if you did the O's as like decoration, but you remember you're a long time person here. Mace, we'll just call you Mace. That's what we usually call you. Okay, so Mace says, I love your theatrical, almost Shakespearean delivery. Thank you. You know, she never actually asked for leniency or consideration for a shorter sentence. She only asked for forgiveness. Okay, Sarah, you're forgiven. Now go to prison forever. I also don't understand when they say this has been, oh wait, hold on. This has been a good experience, or they're content with themselves. Like, okay, if you like it so much, you won't mind being there forever. That is one thing too about this is the fact that in that second letter, and so in the final letter, right? We'll call it the final letter. Yeah, she's just resigned to the fact that she's going to be in prison the rest of her life, right? Like she's kind of like but again, I think she likes the martyrdom of it, right? I think that's why she doesn't ask for it, and why she's coming at it more from like this is rigged, and you know, this courtroom, this and blah, 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 or whatever. Okay, wait, hold on. Alan says, I have a friend. I'm sorry, I have to read this because I know you read this. So Alan Bell says, I have a friend where if mostly is ever used in conversation, we just look at each other and repeat mostly and laugh. Darn, what she has so many times, so many classic lines. Right? Literally, people who get mostly. Yeah. And I swear to God, South Park did a whole episode where it was based on that one line and that thing where Cartman kept going, mostly. It was so funny. But yeah, so back to Sarah Boone. So yeah, she never really asked for it, but I think she enjoys that, right? I think that's what she likes. Okay, T. Doran says, oh my God, she is stunningly unaware of her own culpability. FFS, great reading. Yes, that's one of the shocking parts of this. I mean, I shouldn't say this. Recently, I haven't gone down the rabbit hole of like, say, like forensics and people like that talking about, hey, Amanda, the, what do you call it? The psychology behind it and whatnot, other than, you know, we talked to Dr. Barry in here and stuff like that. But that's one of the shocker parts of this is how insanely unaware of herself she is. You know what I'm saying? Near Houston, outside of Houston, about an hour. I'm in the final frontier. I love it. Texas to me is very alluring. Like literally, like ready to move, right? It's just beautiful. Yuma Fox is middle of nowhere. Yeah, part of me wants to like get in a car and just keep driving like, you know, because like I'm trying to like Texas is huge, right? Like you can ride for 14 hours and you're still in Texas, you know, to try and get a grasp on, because I call it like this, like, you know, like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre vibes, where it's like, you know, is there like a family that's like in the middle of a nowhere? You know what I'm saying? That's like you can drive for 5 hours, like, and they just live off the land and they've never seen people or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, there's that. Like, I would love to find that out. So, anyways, but I don't want to like risk my life for it. You know what I'm saying? But you know what I mean. Okay, now let me keep going through here. Okay, so Barry Adams writes this, and I'm going to say this wrong. You'll see what I'm saying, but here we go. He says, "There's so much about your reading that made me smile, but the butchering kintsugi into kin to Kuroi, the way she did made me snort my iced coffee. I can't thank you enough." Um, and then they go over it. Was this the person that she plagiarized? Is that what they're talking about? Because I heard from somebody that somebody said that she plagiarized parts of this letter. Because it definitely is like it does not sound like she wrote this, parts of it, right? It does not sound like she wrote this. Linda says, Bone Luke had PTSD after listening to your reading. 100%. I'm gonna have to get them little doggy mufflers, or you know what I'm saying. Let's see here. Cindy Caldwell says, I was waiting for her to quote Elephant Man. I am not a monster. I am a human being. Oh, wait, that's right. The gold thing. That's right. Thank you. Yes, the gold thing. Okay, Emily says, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Sofa Squad. And Emily says that to everyone as well. I talked earlier. And she's just giving love and sending love to everybody as she always does. This person talks about how SD talks about how, you know, she's just so overly dramatic and, you know, she can't just do whatever. Okay, now this is one. Let's talk about this, y'all. Okay, so Summers Fam says, also, does anyone think the whole smashing the TV was staged? Let me explain. In the video, the TV already looked damaged and was unplugged, I think. And George is literally telling her when he's done, she's going to help him take it outside. She never said stop. She said go when she started recording. Not to mention, if you watch it, and let me click this. If you watch it, hold on. The poor man is struggling to swing the bat after a few hits. Then was so tired he passed out. I think she set that up as a rage room thing. Like he said he was mad about something and oops, and Satan, oops, Sarah told him, okay, take it out on the broken TV. Then she recorded it to save for evidence that he was violent when she needed it to look bad on him. Okay, now this keeps going, so just hold on. What Sarah did during sentencing was put all real DV trauma essay victims in a very hard position because no survivors, at least I know for me, ever want to not believe another survivor. She wanted us to feel empathy for her, parentheses, that she never seemed to show for anyone else. This is so true. This is an excellent comment here. And if we didn't, then we were either vile or not true victims. To me, that shows she was not a victim because I never met another victim, other than Amber Heard, who we all know she was the aggressor, ever want to put other survivors back into the worst moments of their life and wouldn't put them in the position of, believe me, or you're a real victim yourself. Absolutely despicable. So two parts to this. Secondly, I 100% think that this person like nailed it, right? And that's like, this person's like, picked apart the video way more than I have. 100% that was staged. 100% that was staged. Okay. And Indy says she wasn't even upset with him hitting the TV. She was egging him on. 100%, right? Second part to that comment about the victim thing, this was put so well. Now I'm not trying to sit here and say that I'm not I am not a victim of DV or anything like that. So I'm not trying to sit here and act like I know something that I don't know, if that makes sense. Okay. I can use my own experiences in other situations, but it doesn't compare to somebody who has truly gone through that. So I'm not trying to sit here and make light about that. It's like I might not understand it in the same context as somebody who survived that, but I can have some level of appreciation, if that makes sense, of what they might be talking about. But this makes sense to me. You know what I'm saying? Like if I look through my own lens of things that I might have been a victim of and whatnot, and I'm like, yeah, they hit the nail on the head where I felt like I was being preached to as a person and being told if I don't feel this way, I'm bad, I'm wrong. You see what I'm saying? And like that part right there for me, like who wrote this again? No, Summers, really uh, eloquently said this, um, because that's how I felt. That was what was so smarmy about it. Um, Indy, I'm at you now. I'm good. So I'm reading Indy, but in here, and thank you for sending love to our little Roscoe and the boys. I greatly appreciate you. And she says Sarah can't shut up. I wonder how much of her letters could be taken as a threat. She'll probably cross that line too, or defamatory to the court, maybe. Hold on, let's see. Life without, I know she got life, but life without paper and writing utensils would have been even better. Amen, Andy, for real. I mean, 100%, right? And yeah, somebody else made this, and we might come to the comment too, where they're talking about this could harm her. And I don't personally know, like maybe other lawyers have talked about this or whatever, but like with her riding the court and stuff like that. Now, if you've gone, like if you follow the My Orange Clerk court where the files were and stuff, they have the case is closed on there now, right? So I mean, there was an era ended, right? But it was closed. So she can't keep putting herself out there, but again, there'll be more, right? And I personally think that she probably would have gotten herself in trouble. She would have kept going. That letter that she did towards the end, I mean, that she knew that was going to be read to the public. I mean, this is her thing, right? It's her bit. Like is the the kids call it these days. Like this is her bit, is like getting attention from this. Please hold. It's Christmas in Scotland. Oh, I love it. Um, when Sandy says I sent you an email. Oh, I'll look, Sandy. I haven't seen it. I'll go double check though. Yeah, I've been on like a major Enya kick. I know that's Ireland, but um, I've been like going over that. So let's keep going. Okay, this shows how. Okay, so I'm gonna go down to Angie Baltimore. This shows how unhinged Boone really is. She doesn't really think she did anything wrong. Same reason she didn't take the plea deal. She put George's family through her BS for almost 5 years, only thought of herself the entire time, but she's better that she's murderer. Yes, I mean, this is the thing. She's still, and I think a lot of people saw that as well when we watched it, where there wasn't really how would you say, a self-awareness of anything. And again, at the end of the day, I get like we all feel a certain way about uh, uh, Sarah, obviously. She doesn't want to go to prison the rest of her life. I get it. You know what I mean? Um, that's not what she wants to do. So I completely understand that human aspect of that. However, one of the things that I've seen, like the sentiments and the comment sections, things of that nature, is just the shock of how little self-awareness she had in taking any level of accountability. And I think another thing that I saw that was so big in the comment sections on these was also the level of how much, I'm trying to think of how to word it, how much she thought the evidence presented painted her as the victim and him as the aggressor, when literally everybody else viewed it in a different context. None of us really saw it the way she did. Thank you, Lauren, for gifting 5 memberships. I appreciate that. And so that was the part where it's just like, how is she not? How has this been turned upside down so much? That part was very smart, almost to the point that you just wonder. Like for me, at times, I was like, "Is she no?" But she's just like playing this character. Oh, Ottawa Andy in the current comment section says, best comment was on Dr. Barry's about Sarah's full letter substitute. I hate substitute. I hate for every time she says, I forgive. Absolutely love that. Absolutely love that. Oh, I love Annie Lennox too. Yeah, been a major Enya kick. I've always loved Enya, but this time of year, her And Then Winter Came album. Oh my God, so good. Okay, let's keep going. Okay. Okay, let's see. Dwayne says, duck everybody, another Boone letter incoming. Dwayne, if you're out there, I hope you're doing well. Okay, I'm just going to ones ahead. Neffy G says, patient. Sis, it's been 5 damn years. I know. Seriously. It really has. Hold on. Let me go to the next one. Okay, Linda Barrett says, it's fun. It's funny that she turned on the same social media that she loves so much since she was known all around the world. Her level of self-entitlement is astounding. Theatrics, that's the pot calling the kettle black. Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. It was almost like a love-hate. You had to kind of deal with and have the social media. Like without it, and this is one thing, I don't know where we talked about this, if it's the last live chat or a video or wherever it was, or if it was a private conversation with one of you. But when you look at the offenders, the defendants, whatever you call it, who get the attention, and once they're sentenced, they go away. Yes, there's still a level of that attention, but not obviously like when they're in trial and leading up to, especially something like Sarah Boone, like this, like massive, media attention. Although you just didn't see it a lot out there like you did some other things. Daryl Brooks, these cases like, Scott Peterson got a lot of attention. Chris Watts obviously got a lot of attention, but Chris Watts never really pandered to the cameras like what's her name, Sarah Boone did. But anyways, once they go away, get sentenced, whatever, that attention goes away. Now, I think Sarah will keep trying to garner it because I think for her and her world, this is the vibe that I got. Like in that letter, when she's sitting here talking about, that she's been wronged and that she didn't lose and all this type of stuff. I think at the end of the day, it's like she has to tell herself that to get through, if that makes sense. That she has to do that to feel like she won. Won what? I'm not sure. But also a guise or a cover to that, or a thinly veiled layer is the I'm a victim thing. Okay. And he says in another comment, she acts like money's paid to JAC is coming out of her own little pocket. By Sarah. I mean, so true, Indy. And that's the other thing too with that. She really did act like with the money thing where it was just like, yeah, she wanted that money. She wanted that honey bun money. Honey bone money. Okay, now let's go. Okay, those are the ones out there. Let's go over here. Please help. Please help. Please continue to hold. Kelly Weaver says, how kind of her to forgive his parents after killing their son. I mean, this is the thing. It's like that was where that whole thing she did in court. I mean, it was crazy. Thanks, Andrea, for being a member for a month. Hey, Northwest, how's it going? The thing that she did in court with that, like I forgive his parents and all that. Another shocker, right? Okay, Ritz says Judge Kraynick's swift, quick, no nonsense sentence was a masterpiece. God bless his honor. This man is wonderful role model and pure class. That was another thing that was like, I mean, there was nothing around that. He didn't give her the time of day. And I think maybe at this point, he had her pegged in this way. Any attention is good attention for her. So even if he sat there and was like, I'm going to go on and on or whatever, like she would want that more than anything. So just a very swift, you got anything else to say? Okay, life, you're done. Bye. And being done with her, that was the worst, right? Which is why part of it is that she wanted to come back and be like, okay, well, yeah, you know what? I actually was going to say all this, in that letter. It was the worst. It was the worst thing. The worst thing he could have done is gone on and on, and gone and whatever. Like that would have been the worst thing. Right. So the fact that he just get, a lot of times you want to hear what the judges have to say. But honestly, I think with this case, I think we all knew. You could see in the way, I mean, he just kept it professional. He was completely, absolutely over it. And I just think for him too, seeing what she did to the victims, the surviving victims, if you will, in the courtroom, it was just, I think he already had that sentence. He already knew what he was going to do. And it just made him feel not that he felt guilty about it, but it was all the more reason, in his book. Now, of course, I don't know. It's not like I'm friends with him and called him up or something, right? This is all just sofa speculation based on filtering through my own thought process, right? Yeah, Anne says, and this is so true, and this is such a good thing to point out. Anne says, my non-true crime friends, so many people knew the video, but not the case. Yes, and this like speaks to the viral, I'm going to say this word wrong, the virality, however you say it, like how something can go viral of a case, because I was in the same thing where, you talk to people or whatever. It's like, what do you do or whatever, and you start talking and well, what cases are you, and I'll be like, the suitcase, Sarah Boone, they don't know that, the one with the suitcase. And then it starts to go, remember, you might have seen the video where oh yeah, I saw that. Yeah, that's still going on. And that snippet, that clip went so viral. But so many people, and this is the thing that I forget about too, that like there's a level of the superficial layer that the public sees. So they'll see like the really intense, like that right there, that video, but they're not following the day to day or even the trials. They're just seeing the headline stuff basically. So while they might know like, oh yeah, the woman named Sarah and something with a suitcase and he's like begging to get out and just like laughing at him, something like that, they don't know what's gone on for 5 years. They don't know the verdict. They don't know, what I mean, any of that, which is one of the things that makes the true crime communities, the true crime world, or people who consume that content or the TV shows or whatever, you have a place to kind of talk about it, right? One of the comment sections I've been seeing a lot in TikTok that people do that's kind of joking is people saying things like, I have no one to talk to about this. and this is about like anything, right? Like it can be whatever. And I'm like, this completely sums up the true crime community, like how so many of us feel is like, I have no one to talk to this about except all of us, right? Oh, Jenny, thank you. So hold on, what Jenny say? Oh, wow, Jenny, thank you. That's so sweet of you. Hold on, I'm losing you. Hold on, where'd you go? Where'd you go? Hold on. There you are. Merry Christmas, Paul, Bill, Luke, miss you, Roscoe, and all that. Oh, thank you so much, Jenny. That's so sweet of you. Merry Christmas to you as well. I hope all is well your way. And January 1st, we start the monthly countdown to, I can't remember if you're going to CrimeCon next year or not, but it's in September. And so we'll start the countdown and it will be less than a year and I'll get to hang out and see you. I'm already making plans for that. I'm excited about that one. I've met so many of you now. Let's keep going. But thank you again, Jenny. I really appreciate that. And the boys will too, with their little treats. Okay, Debo OG says, I have never seen anyone so passionately and aggressively determined to never have any self-awareness. Amen. Amen. Right. Okay, let's see. Little Poplar 82 says she writes like a high schooler trying to impress a teacher with words they don't know how to use properly. I mean, yeah, I think too, like, because I mean, I know I did a dramatic reading, but I mean, honestly, Sarah was just as dramatic, if not more. Oh, thank you, Robin. Robin Lane says, Merry Christmas, Paul Bowling. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Merry Christmas to you as well, Robin. I hope it is a wonderful time. So, Sandy, this is my bit. So, Sandy asks what CrimeCon ticket is best. Okay, this is my opinion. If y'all have been, you want to interject and you have whatever, completely cool. So, every year we've gone, we have gotten the standard ticket. Okay. Only this year did I splurge and get us the VIP, like there's like the first entry level to VIP. So I did that one because it's Emily. Emily, how did it go? I was telling everybody you're out seeing because I wanted like to kind of just be like, you know what, like it's gonna be Emily, myself, and Derek to go to the little dinner they did and all that type stuff. That was the only reason I did it. You do not need the VIP ticket. The basic ticket is all you need, unless you are just absolutely want to sit up close in the things and the what do you call it? And the the people speaking. I can't think right now. I'm so exhausted. If you want to sit up close and do that or whatever, but because I'm not gonna lie out, the tickets, even the base tickets, I mean, they're expensive. Okay, this is not like a cheap event at all. Okay, so my take on it is do the base one. Now everybody's situation is different, right? So if you're like, oh, it's not a big deal to go for it, right? Or if you're like, I want to treat myself, go for it, right? But you just need the basic ticket, because here's the thing with CrimeCon, literally, you're gonna meet people, you're gonna do this and that. Now, also one thing too, like for me, honestly, like when you go to hear the people speak, I want to sit more towards the back than the edge. Number one, I have to go to the bathroom all the time. You know what I mean? Like and getting up and whatnot, that kind of thing. So I mean, for me, I was just like, I want to even really want to sit up front. My biggest thing was I wanted to go to the little dinner thing that they have. Yeah, the little lectures that they have. We're talking about CrimeCon tickets. We're kind of jumping all over. Somebody was asking about the tickets, and yeah, I say just get the basic one. And Sandy, there's so many husbands, like literally at the meet and greet thing we did. Oh, hey Audra, how's it going? We're just talking about CrimeCon, Audra. Literally so many husbands were just like, oh my God, I have to listen to you every night when we go to sleep. The little meet and greet thing. There are so many husbands that come, and it's nice to see them supporting their wives and stuff. And many husbands who they know about the stuff by proxy, right? Like Matt and I mean, well, here's the thing. Matt was like a casual true crime observer. I mean, he essentially named the channel, right? But to this, like, he doesn't know, like, he'll get tuned in when I'm like, oh my God, you have to, you know what I'm saying? He knows enough about it, obviously, but not to the level like that we know here about these cases. You know what I'm saying? But it was nice seeing that. Yeah, Emily says we're seeing lots more husbands there. Yeah, I mean, they're having fun. I mean, they're just like, oh, this is cool. I mean, it really is. Like, and I can't think of her name now. And if she's watching or watches this, I'm sorry. But I want to say her name's Lori, and her husband, he goes and plays golf. Right. And that's what he does and hangs out. Yeah, Ann says this. Nate says it's the nicest bunch of murder fanatics you'll ever meet. It really is. Um, oh, that's so cute. Rebecca says, my husband says, hi, Paul, when he hears your voice. That's so nice. So yeah, it's just honestly, it's a really great crowd. You'll meet so many people, and then you'll meet also, I mean, you'll meet the families, loved ones of the victims. You will get, it's a very humbling perspective when you meet the people directly affected by the monstrous things that we read, even though a lot of times, stuff like this, like, it's, um, uh we're making fun of Sarah and this that type of stuff, but you'll see that face of it, and that brings that human perspective of like, my God, you know what I'm saying? It's very amazing experience all around. And then too, you're gonna meet like your favorite podcasters and news channel people, and you'll see Vinny and Nate and all these faces, Nancy Grace, people like walking around that you're like, what, Stephanie Harlow, Emily Baker, just all the things. Jenny says, my mom is coming. That is amazing, Jenny. You know what I'm going to do this year? We're going to find a spot, and it'll be like, hey, everybody, see, I want to do it before the things start, but that's so early. But I'm just like, at 8:00, we'll be having coffee here, and it'll be super casual. So we can hang out in the morning, and then we'll do the official meet and greet too. But we'll do it like both ways, because you already know me. Like I'm getting up and going to get coffee early. So I have like a little unofficial Sofa Squad coffee area. Oh, yeah. Oh, you went. Okay, now this is a good comment right here. Groovy Canadian chick says, what incentive does Sarah, where'd you go? Does Sarah have to defer control and follow the rules with a life sentence? Do you think she was difficult inmate before? I think she'll be an impossible now. Oh, I 100% agree. She has zero. And you know what I think she'll do too is I think that she will. Hey, Veronica. I don't know how you say this, but like exhaust the system So she'll get to prison. She'll figure out the parameters because they're going to be different than jail. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like she'll figure out her boundaries because she's very good. She figures them out and where she can encroach on and where she can't, and how she can do this and how she can, that type thing. She'll figure that out for prison and then start working that system. So this is one thing I think she'll do, for example, medical. She will get in there and figure out like, oh, I can get attention through medical. And I'm kind of making this up or whatever, but it'll be like medical is one way I can do that. Well, okay, y'all are going to take care of me. This is wrong with me. That's wrong with me. This is wrong with me. That's wrong with me. And you request after request after request. You see what I'm saying? She's going to, that's what I mean by exhaust the system. Now, obviously the appeal system, she's just going to keep right on with that, but I think she'll see that things are, I personally think she'll get an appeal of some sort. And I mean, again, I'm not a lawyer or anything like that, but I just feel like after all that just took place, there's no way she couldn't find something to get one, right? Do I think it'll change? Absolutely not. She's incriminated herself so many times. It's like, I don't know, Emily says, you can rest assured she will write the warrant. He is on her speed dial. Okay, she's already got his personal mailing address, right? She has already got 10 letters in the holster. And I'm talking, she hasn't even stepped foot on the campus, right? She's already got 10 complaints, 10 separate letters. She doesn't even know what to complain about yet. She's just doing generic complaints. She's doing generic complaints. Like, she already knows that the bus ride's going to be awful. So she's got like 10 requests and complaints about the bus ride that she hasn't even taken yet, right? Okay. She's pissed off about that bus ride, hasn't even stepped foot on the damn bus. Okay, but that's just what she's going to do. It's like some of these, and here's the thing, right, wrong, or indifferent. No, take all of our emotion out of it. Did Sarah get what she wanted? She dragged this out for 5 years, went through multiple lawyers, and had the attention of all of these things, all of channels like me, people like she got what she wanted. Mind you, did she really want a life sentence? Probably not. But in a sense, there's that. So, I just think that it all just works for her. I really do. She's going to have her little fan club. She's going to have her. Northwest says, I emailed you, Sarah, should yearbook photo. Did you do it just now, Northwest? And Jay says that they're surprised. I'm surprised Sarah hasn't written the president's Trump and Biden for a pardon. Well, remember when Tiger King did that? And he had the limo waiting. He was 100% convinced. That's another one right there. Tiger King. I'm like, yeah, he was convinced. Like, had a whole press thing, and it's like, dude, he's not gonna let you out. Are you crazy? Like, what? You know what I'm saying? Like, I was explaining to somebody, okay, we're kind of deep. We'll get back to the Sarah comment thing in here. So we're going from Tiger King to the Chimp Crazy documentary. Okay, do you ever find yourself explaining something in true crime to somebody who's not that like flush with it? And you see how they're like, so it's like a level of normalcy to you that you're trying to explain in a normal way, but they're just like, huh? So I was like trying to explain the similarities, the parallels of Chimp Crazy, the documentary, to Tiger King, as if we were talking about like oranges and mangoes, right? And only when it was like, I stopped and I was like, Paul, this is so out there and left field. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was just like so crazy. I was just like, nobody could grasp it. They're like, what are you watching? And I'm like, yeah, I forgot. Okay. Yeah, Courtney says you can't explain true crime to non-true crime. I've tried. For real. It's like it's just like it's so hard. Okay, let's keep going here. Okay, where is the button on the phone? Let's start with that. Let's start with where the button went. I know it's there. Okay, this one is good. Okay, this is a Goff. I can't read it. A Goff Twitter. Okay, a Goff Twitler. Yeah, they say Saint Suitcase forgives us all. Bless her, Saint Suitcase. But that is, it's like she really tried to align herself with that, right? Okay, another person says this. This is another good name too. Jesus of Uncool says, LMAO, the thing that stung Sarah the most was that the judge didn't acknowledge her speech whatsoever before sentencing. He basically said, "Are you done yapping? Life in prison," and then went on about his day. I mean, aim in, okay? Literally, that she still feels that. And that's what's so funny is she had to respond to it. She was like, "Well, I'll get his attention now," you know. And literally, and just like that's it's the same thing. Like when you sit here and look at like gray rocky narcissist and that whole thing or whatever, they crave attention. They don't care what kind it is, and when you zap that away from them, it's like their kryptonite. It they can't handle it. That's the worst thing you can do is just no attention. It's a hard lesson to learn, depending on the situation that you're in with one. You might not be able to do that because it can be dangerous. You know what I'm saying? Um, but yeah. A day in the life of my cat says, "You'd think that Boone fancies herself as Scarlett O'Hara," then quotes, "As God is my witness, I shall never go hungry again." Another person acknowledges her misuse of the words. Um, Okay, Tom Von Hatten says, Sarah can feel as she wishes, it doesn't matter. Nothing she scrawls regarding her innocence matters. There are two videos that she took that said more about her true nature than all of the self-serving scribbling she's ever done. So true. So true. Willow Weezy says, the "I didn't want to drink, he made me" is what got me. That part right there, that whole that what they just said, that part, yeah, was just like, really. That's the whole thing too. Like, it wasn't like she just didn't take accountability for the murder. It was like the little nuggets that she threw in there along the way, like that, like with even drinking, where you're just like, girl, like you should at least, like, take the blame on something, right? Like, pick one thing and just start there. Okay. Like, just start, like, if you want any kind of chance of getting out, pick one little thing and just go with it. Let's do one of the obvious. Okay, drinking. Okay, let's just take a little bit of responsibility for that one. But nope, we can't even do that. He made me do it. Girl, no. Okay. Not when, and this is the other thing, it was as if she acted like she didn't sit through all the testimony and see all of it with the neighbors, the things that the neighbors got there and say. Here's the thing, most of us, what we've talked about over the years, okay, most of us came to this conclusion where it was like, yeah, I probably wouldn't have gone to trial with this, just simply based on the testimony alone of who they were going to get up there. And it wasn't like this was stuff they were making up. It was like stuff that you knew, just the neighbor's testimony, knowing that was going to come out. That alone is like, oh, they're going to put me out there. They've seen some stuff. They're going to put me out there. But that's where the delusion was so twisted, and I do wonder, because again, Sarah is a human being. She's just, I mean, she walks around like us, right? She was somebody's daughter, somebody's wife, somebody's mom, somebody's this. What was she like? What happened and when? What was the turning point? Because I feel like something took place at some point, okay, that brought this to the surface. I don't know. Okay. I don't know, but something. Okay, let's keep going. And this person might have answered my damn question right here. Okay, this is Catherine Weber. This is what she writes. The only person who doesn't know Sarah Boone is Sarah Boone. She doesn't know she's self-destructive. She doesn't know she's an alcoholic and an abusive person, or acknowledge her inner demons so she can get help and face what she's done. She doesn't know her problems lost her husband and then son. She doesn't know her problems led to her ending, George. She doesn't know her problems are what gave her life in prison. She is lost in the land of denial and will never stop using and abusing people. I fell for those in prison with her. This is a very excellent way of summing this up. And I mean, that's the thing. And I mean, on one level, even though it's infuriating, it's, it's when you see someone who's this in denial about knowing themselves, I mean, it's sad, right? It's really, really sad. Okay. Because you're just like, they'll never, this okay, like if you want to talk about karma, like let's talk about karma, like you can see like karma play out, whatever. This is karma right here, but the the bite to it for us is that they don't see it that way because they are so unaware. You see what I'm saying? But like to me, I'm like, oh, there's karma. She's her own worst enemy, basically. She'll never get out of her own way. And therefore, going through life this out of touch with everything would be horrible, but I guess if you didn't know, then you didn't know. It's like bliss or something. I don't know. Jesus, alcohol never helps anything. Yes, and then you sprinkle that on top of it. And it's just not good. Okay. Steve Boo says she valued her deceased family's heirlooms and keepsakes more than she did George. She will never see them again now. So true. Okay, Bree Bees says, "Oh, thank you, Emily, for gifting 10 memberships. That's so sweet of you. I do appreciate it." Um, Bree Bees says, "I heard from a person that was there at sentencing that when Sarah and her lawyer first sat down, her lawyer told her point blank, 'Show some effing remorse.' That, of course, upset Sarah and was why she came to the stand and her lawyer adjusted her mic and she looked upset and leaned away from him." Oh my God, wouldn't that be so on brand? I mean, literally, right? I mean, 100%. Oh, have we heard from anyone who was in the courtroom? We need them to come on here and talk to us. We need to put the sofa feelers out there for anybody who is in the courtroom, right? We need this kind of information. Well, let's see if there's some replies to this one. Let's see. Oh, Emily, our lovely Emily says he had her number all along. I think, amen, girl. She thinks she is showing remorse. This is her best effort at yeah, right. Doom says she thinks this is showing remorse. This is her best effort at feigning remorse. I mean, honestly, seriously, right? I'm just going through the comments here. Okay, Vanilla Bell ASMR says this judge just walked into work one day not knowing that day was the beginning of the Sarah era. And here he is 5 years later. Imagine, I mean, this is the thing with the judges and lawyers, all these people involved. Imagine that like the day before they go into court and get this case. They had no idea. They had no idea what they were walking into. Right. And like they said, 5 years later, here we are. Mickey Lombardo says Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix is a shorter book than the Sarah Boone letters. I mean, if she had spent this amount of time actually going through her case and maybe trying to reduce it down. But again, I mean, I'm answering my own questions here. She could have walked out with 15 years. She could have been halfway home, but I don't think she wanted that. I'm just going through the things here. Now, M Mimi Life, I think Mimi LFE says, what's really troubling is that she is now in prison helping others heal. I mean, again, think of the victimization that's going to take place to other people behind bars that might be trying to rehabilitate themselves. Eduardo Diaz says, yeah, this is going to definitely help her in the bills. I mean, exactly. Apollyon, a poly on caddis. I can't say this or nor read it. But they say, even after I kindly explain. That part right there. The little knife jabs that Sarah puts in there are just too much. I mean, it's again the absurdity, right? I'm skipping over things that people are just saying, like, "Oh, I like your interpretation of it," but like people are several comments like mentioned like my take on the absurdity of this, and that's the thing. Like, it's so absurd, it's almost comical, right? Like you because you literally are almost just like is she trying is she trying to add comedic timing to this, right? Like is this intentional? I hate to use that word. Okay, now CC Chick 2 brings up an excellent point. I would love to hear from any of Sarah's former coworkers or the parents on these field trips she allegedly chaperoned. Why aren't this is the thing, are these channels that like you know how like some of these channels out there they'll like go and be like, yeah, we went and talked to the water delivery man of Sarah Boone. You know, like they're like channels that are good at like finding those kind of like niche people involved in the cases. You don't see any of that with Sarah Boone. Like, or unless have I missed this? Like, have I missed this? Right? Because there's so many opportunities, but that's the whole thing. Maybe we missed it because Sarah made it all up, right? You can't tell me but so let me rewind. Maybe at a certain point she was involved with the Sun School, but no time in the near like recent past. You heard Brian say, um, I'd have to call to make sure she was going to pick the kid up, or else she was just going to be like, you know, hey, yeah, can't make it. Okay, thanks. Yeah, you just keep him. You know what I mean? Like, but again, that's why I'm like, at what point did what happen? Like, what was going on with life at home with Brian and the kid, the son? Again, I'm just going through more. Okay, Mary Anna Russo brings up a good point with her comment. It says, I wonder how many in her own family said she's going to go to jail someday. She has major screws loose. These letters are ridiculous. Does she realize the letters are in her file? If she has ever granted a new trial, the judge will be aware of all the letters she has written. Oh, here's the thing. If she and 100% true, I mean, you do have to wonder because again, like whatever point that something turned, it's like, you know, did people around her like was Brian like, oh my god, she's gonna end up you know, she's gonna end up in jail. Like this is not gonna end well. Lemon Baked in the current comment section brings up a good point. The son and husband are lucky to be alive. Yeah, I totally agree. I'm just reading through these. Okay, Barbara Lawrence brings up a good point. Barbara says, I don't believe Sarah understands the concept of forgiveness. She just keeps repeating the word to gripe about her perceived injustices. Her gold is just bronze, which will turn to green over time. Amen. Hold on. Sorry, I had to sneeze. Excuse me. Sorry. Okay. Great Gorboni says, had the woman not made a spectacle of her sentencing hearing with a parade of jailbird friends and pen pals, and had she not gotten on the stand and ignorantly sullied George's character, even more so than she already attempted during her trial, she may not have gotten such a harsh sentence. I mean, literally, and let's see here. Yeah, Emily says 100%. I mean, that's the thing, so I personally think the judge already knew the sentence, but he could have also, I mean, we'll never know, right? He could have potentially gone in there with 2 written down, because that would have been like worth, like if it came out in the public, I don't know how it would, but if he was like, well, there's 2 options, but after her thing, I gave her this, but again, he would never say that because she would like that. She would want to be more of the victim. Amy says, I'm sorry, Amy Beck says, I want to get the video of her screaming at George in the hallway. He was cowered down in almost a fetal position, and her absolutely demanding him to get away from her bedroom door. I was terrified she was going to push him down the stairs that night. Oh my God, that woman is BS crazy. Rip George. Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, that's one of the things there that I'm talking about, where she presented that video like, this is evidence, like, look at what's going on. And it's like, literally watching it was like, you're like, I'm getting ready to watch her throw him down the stairs. Like, it didn't even make sense what we were seeing, because you can just tell, you can get those nuances, and that's what it seemed like. And so I don't know. Yeah. Okay, I'm just reading through these. This person, Linda Perrine, brings up a good point about wanting to see her medical records, all the injuries. She had to have some pretty serious injuries. Why weren't any doctors called to testify? That is a good point. Like, so when we were going through, because of all the stuff that she tried to bring up, you just didn't really see your stereotypical testimony that you might see in a case of a truly battered, except for in his way, right? I mean, that was the other thing. Okay. This person, Lucky Spencer, says, less is more, Sarah. Less is more. Oh, if only she knew that. Oh, wait, here's a person who says this. So they say, Short King Reacts, that's another channel, I believe, has an amazing reading of this letter. He replaces forgive with hate. Makes a lot more sense. Okay, so that's what somebody was talking earlier about a channel that did that. It's Short King Reacts did that. Now I don't know if he was the original or whatever. I'm just reading what this person said. But it does make. I mean, I want to go check that out because it would probably make total sense to hear that, right, in that context. Oh, this person says, Ian Jeske says, for Christmas, I'm asking AI to read this letter to me in Skeletor voice. Can you do that? That would be pretty cool. Imagine getting AI to read it to you in multiple character voices. Like, think it's just anything you can imagine, right? Okay, so Forever Rose says she forgets she was shown some type of leniency when she was given the 15-year plea deal. She shot her own self in the foot by her own narcissism, like drowning in the water because you can't stop looking at your reflection upon it. Man, that's a good one right there. That's a good one, right? Let me say this. Let me respond to this real quick. Thank you. Boom, boom. Okay. Okay. Oh my gosh. So I'm just going through to see like the. Okay, so this person, T Black slash DZ5BO says, imagine accusing Judge Kraynick of having black robe disease. He is the opposite of arrogant, snide, and short-tempered, etc. In fact, Miss Boone herself suffers from such a malady regardless of the robe. She acts like her straight A's in high school supersedes all the experience and education of the entire court. Crazy to think she could have gotten off with a lesser charge if she wasn't such a control freak. Thanks to her, the world knows that she is a violent abuser, not George. She basically forced all this to happen, and I love that for her. I mean, honestly, it's so true. I mean, that's like the beauty in it, I guess, is she literally brought this to herself. Okay, there's that. Okay. Okay, so these are just starting to kind of get into like just the not that I'm not appreciative of it, but like the oh, you did a great job kind of stuff. Where, like I'm not gonna read those. Like, I mean, I do privately, obviously. I'm not saying whatever. Um, but just not for the purposes here of the video, okay? Um, so what we're gonna do now is we're gonna switch over to "Twas the Night Before Christmas" before we wrap it up. But first, we have a special appearance. I found the goat. We needed that. We needed the goat for the letter, right? He's made his way back. Okay. Okay. So, okay. So here we go. Now, okay, first of all, this is The Golden Girls Twas the Night Before Christmas. This is a serious book. This is like a subsidy of Penguin. Now, this is by Francesco Sedita and Douglas Yaka, illustrated by Alex Fine. So look them up. They do other stuff, and this is an excellent little thing. It's a tiny little book. The Golden Girls. 'Twas the night before Christmas. We'll kind of do it in a little bit of an Owens, a little bit of a Scarlett O'Hara. Here's the authors. Can y'all see that? It's getting all blurry, but you know what I'm saying. And it was the night before Christmas. And I thought also using the word "twas" because I do think it's in the title for the video tomorrow, the second part of Sarah's letter. "'Twas I, Sarah Boone," I think I titled it. I have to look or whatever, but it just felt appropriate. Okay. Anyways, "'Twas the night before Christmas, and on Richmond Street, 3 girls decorated the halls, and they made each room neat. A picture. You know how like when you see people do things and they'll turn the thing and be like, a picture of a house. Their children and siblings were soon to be there. Ma finished her famous lasagna with care. It's Ma. But a storm was a coming. A hurricane. The planes heading in were unable to fly. A TV screen. Outside, the wind howled. A tree snapped a branch. Rose looked up in alarm. Holy cow, where's Blanche? Northwest says a good kindergarten teacher shows the picture while reading. I'll try. Oh, Chrissy, thank you for talking. Merry Christmas, Pawn Squad. I love you. I want to say thank you for saving supportive community you have here. Oh, thank you, Chrissy. I hope you're doing okay. Thank you very much, and Merry Christmas to you. I hope you're having a Merry Christmas Eve and a Merry Christmas tomorrow. We're reading the Golden Girls, Chrissy, before we hang up. You know what I'm saying? I treat it like it's fun. Across town. Oh dear, this one's scandalous. The men whooped and they whistled to thank her as Blanche jingled her bells at the old rusty anchor. There she is, all tawdry-like. While Ma in her sweatshirt and Dorothy in a vest had just settled down for much-needed rest. Rose, snug with her teddy bear, laid down her head, while visions of St. Olaf danced in her head. It's Rose with a bear. All at once through the rain came a curious sight, a round silhouette in the full moon's pale light. And from the porch the voice of a man. The girls winced as they heard him say, "Hi, it's me, Stan." It's Stan at the Golden Girls' house. He was dressed up like Santa, but ragged and droopy. He'd lost all his money on fake reindeer poopy. It's Stan, broke from reindeer poopy. His tale of woe made dear Rose start to cry, while Dorothy grimaced and gave the side eye. After years spent with Stanley, she knew in a flash the only holiday gift that he wanted was some fast cash. I almost interjected a word that rhymed with cash, if you know what I mean. It's Blanche and Dorothy. Sophia cut in with a long-winded story. Picture it, Sicily, the year 1940. Something about a goat, Linguinian theft, whatever it meant, it worked. Stan quickly left. That's Stan leaving, back in Sicily. A moment later, Blanche whirled through the front door. She was wet. She was cold. She was dressed like an elf. Rose explained that their family simply couldn't get there. It's just rain, Blanche lamented. How rude, I declare. It's a wet, soggy Blanche. So into the kitchen the four girls paraded. Feeling down and depressed, the fridge was quickly raided. There were cookies and ice cream and hot cocoa to make, a salami or two, and 3 types of cheesecake. It's the Golden Girls with cheesecake. For hours the girls talked and they laughed and they shared. It's likely a few flashback episodes aired. Then suddenly, like a true holiday spell, the girls realized they were all family as well. It's the girls eating cheesecake. You could hear them exclaim as the day came to an end, "Merry Christmas, and thank you for being a friend." It's the Golden Girls. Friendship. The end. Cheesecake. And I do thank all of y'all for being a friend as well. I do hope that you all have a wonderful, wonderful Merry Christmas or Hanukkah or Kwanzaa or Wednesday or whatever you celebrate or don't celebrate tomorrow and this evening. I thank you all for being here this year. It has been another wonderful year with the Sofa Squad. Thank you, Emily. Thank you, Indy. Thank you, Tori, for always helping to keep the sofa fluffed and ready to go. And thank all of you for your laughs, for your insights, for the community, for making the channel possible, for getting through this year, through the loss of Roscoe and things like that. I greatly appreciate it very much, so more than I could probably ever express. And that's it. Thank you very much. Now I'm gonna be the second part to Sarah Boone's letter will post in the morning. Depending on, I think we're headed out tomorrow evening, possibly, to start traveling back to the other side of the country to Tennessee. I might go live. It just depends, like maybe in the evening to say Merry Christmas and maybe do that one on the main channel or something. I don't know. We'll play it by ear, but definitely the second part of the letter is going to be in the morning. So be on the lookout for it. And that's it. I love y'all. Thank you once again. Merry Christmas and happy holidays and all the fun stuff. And that's it. Y'all have a wonderful evening. Thanks for hanging out. This is such a way to make this cap this evening off. I greatly appreciate it. I will talk to y'all soon. I love you. Good night. Sleep tight.